episode of LD Viop. Please don't cancel me P1D.
What up, Hockey Zone?
Today we are going to be covering several segments, recapping Pucking Ducks Toon Squad, thoughts on the blew out and defensive crease penalty. I want to give my thoughts on the scumbags hanging out in beer league. I think Violence does too. And we're going to take a look at some of the great retired players and do a little power ranking on them. And then we'll just see where the rest of the show goes.
Yep, should be a good one. Got a great agenda here.
So I haven't listened to the cast yet, Violence, but can you recap your thoughts for Pucking Ducks Toon Squad, please?
You've definitely listened to the cast. Don't lie. I know Leafy was listening right after, right into the film room.
I had to pass away.
Okay. So I think the game went like everyone expected in terms of you guys, like dominating the flow of the game and stuff, but I guess, as people like to say, they capitalized on their win condition, which I think is like a ridiculous thing to say. Like, pretty much they just had the better goalie, and that's why they won. Although I do think their offense was, even though it wasn't good by any means, but they did make a few adjustments and played a little better than they did against us, in my opinion. You probably think they were garbage.
I said last night, and I would say it again, that if I could trade all three of our periods for the first period, I would do it 10 out of 10 times. I mean, they got off to a really rough start, and I've thought about this more, and, you know, in a weird way, I'm kind of rooting for them because you have a whole team of people that are bought in to doing exactly what they have to do to win, and they're doing it. I mean, I got to give them some respect for that.
It's true. They know you guys are probably the more skilled team and have better chemistry, and they're playing to win, so they'll do whatever it takes. And yeah, you're right. You got to respect them for playing to win, because that's the goal.
Yeah.
But I kind of disagree with you in how you, like, I thought your second and third periods were, like, you allowed some shit goals in those periods as well, but I thought you guys, like, you were more aggressive. You, even if there wasn't a clear chance, you attacked more, and you guys were making things happen the whole second and third period compared to the first period. I thought you guys were a little too patient, and you had great possession, but not that many chances. Like, I don't think you had one good chance in the first period, maybe one look, because you guys were just being patient and waiting them out.
Well,
I think you should just attack more and just
I think for us,
you guys and then go.
in our mindset, always going into, especially the postseason, is in a two-dimensional game, having the first goal on your side changes the dynamics entirely. Because if you're a puck possession team and you have the lead, they have to come to you to get the ball to score, right? They can't just sit there, or the clock winds down. So them going up early forced us to not be able to play that style nearly as much, and that completely changes how we're going to approach the game.
I guess I just think the more chances you get, like the more shots you can put up on CNM, you need more volume. You can't just rely on like a couple good chances per period. He's gonna, you know what I mean? But I get your point.
I mean, they're playing really good team defense, and we noticed some patterns as the game progressed as to what they were trying to take away and how they were trying to take it away, which once we kind of, got into that rhythm a little bit more, we found some windows, and I went back and I watched the highlights. I mean, there were some windows there for us to score, and we didn't hit them. And C&M's not going to give you one. You got to earn every one of them. It's got to be a good shot or it's not going in. And, I mean, I got to give them credit. I don't see us changing our play style a whole lot. I think we got to play better team defense. But, again, the dynamics of how the game played out, I mean, we lost some 50-50s, and that's the way it goes.
Yeah. Do you actually think they play good team defense?
I mean, I guess it's relative. They don't play like the creasers and platoon squad style of defense, right? It's different. So, but it works. So I mean, I don't know,
It's true. It does work.
from that standpoint, they get everybody involved. I mean, African Panda is a nuisance. Zeppelin will just sit there. Kula will just sit there. I mean, I don't, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah. Like, I think it's shit, but it is smart and it does work. Like, they got 2 or 3 guys on the crease. Zeppelin lunging around doing whatever he wants, trying to take away the reset pass and just taking risks, and then Panda just doing whatever. But they always have 2 or 3 guys on the crease. So it doesn't take much skill, but it's effective for sure.
I know David Seaman wants us to dive deep into our playbook, so there will be a couple of audibles to the Spider 2 Y Banana, and I'm looking forward to the next matchup.
I'm sure that'll make him happy.
Okay, let's get your thoughts on the blue out.
Well, to be honest, like, I think it's a better look for the zone. Like I said on Discord earlier, I think like it's good. It makes it look a little bit more professional if you compared to having loads of people typing in blue during a playoff game. But personally, I like the shit talk, and I like to be a loose cannon as well myself, and it makes it a lot more fun if there's no blue out. And I just think I don't care if there is blue out, but I don't think a team should be able to request it. Like, that's a real soft move to request it for whatever reason. If you like, I don't mind if there's blue out. Just you're a pussy if you request blue out. Is my point.
I think I completely agree with you. I mean, You grew up playing sports. Some of the interactions with the fans can be some lasting memories, and I know people on my team actually like to get heckled, so
I
it's
went
completely
to,
robbed.
Yeah. I in high school, I went to like a predominantly white school. It was mixed, but anyways, we played in like the toughest division in Canada for basketball, and the 2 best teams, like arguably the 2 best teams in Canada, their gyms were like the size of a basement, and they had like stands like right above the gym, just people like heck chirping you like I'm some like 5'7" gingerman out there, just got people like talking so much shit to me. It was like, and so if people can't even, like, people should be able to handle some shit talk in this game.
Yeah,
it's sports.
Well, we'll leave that one alone.
Yes.
How about the defensive crease? I mean, you guys had to deal with Kula Shaker basically just sitting in the net next to C&M.
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of cumulative defensive crease penalty in the playoffs, just like in soccer, in like cups or in the league, you get cumulative yellow cards. If you get too many, you get suspended. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that, and just more of a penalty overall for defensive creases. What do you think?
I was trying to talk to Dewey about if there's anything we could do with the module to like increase the offensive shifts for the duration of the penalty to make it seem like it's actually a power play.
That'd be pretty cool.
It sounds like the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Like it sounds like that could be a lot of work. So
yeah.
I think within our rule set, we just have to make the penalty more penalizing. Like maybe, it's a 2-dimensional game. So what's happening is Kula takes a DC and they sub out Strike for another Spider. And it's just not that big of a difference for that 2 minutes, especially because
they dump the puck for 2 min.
Well, they can dump it, or they can just cycle it around in their end, or whatever. I mean, you're lucky if you get 1 or 2 good looks for that 2 minutes anyway. So I think maybe you end up trying to take 2 people off. I don't know. That seems like a more of a logical, step to me.
I think so. Every DC is you just take 2 people right off. The guy who gets penalized, and then you can choose whoever else you want to get taken off as well.
And I think a BDC just needs to be a goal.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too. I don't see why not.
I mean, it's being voted that it's a goal, right? That's the whole point of a BDC.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm down with that. I think most people would agree. At least something more. I don't really care what the penalty is, just something more than it is now. I think everyone would agree with that.
Let's move on to scumbags in the beer league.
All right, you go.
Okay, there's only one person I want to call out at the moment, and that's David Seaman, who's flying around and living a fantasy world where he's Maelstrom. He's got all these new guys on his team, or guys who never get a chance, and
Like who?
he's making them watch him play, and it's just disgusting to me.
Really? That's the point of the beer league, so Seaman can try something new and do whatever he wants. Who are the new people on his team that he's not letting play?
Well, so he's got Cyclone. He's
Coleman's,
got Nimzo. Left-handed
I mean,
hammer, of course, is the greatest guy. The guy just plays goalie for him.
he likes it. I don't think Clone Man can handle more than 12 men. Like I think Clone Man 12 men and Nimzo 2 periods is good for both of them. I don't think either have the stamina to play a full game of Hockey Zone.
So there are 4 people on their team who have scored goals. Okay. Cozy scored 2 goals in 13 minutes. Crazed Penguin scored 1 goal in 105 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, Nimzo, no goals. Janice, no goals. Beat, no goals. Fur, no goals. I played against him one time, and he's just a scumbag.
I don't know. I think that's what the beer league's for. People can build their own teams and play it however they want.
Hey, we're supposed to be developing the upcoming talent.
I agree with that.
And Dave has always said that he's one of those guys. So I just don't want him to mask this up that he's actually Maelstrom, okay?
Would you prefer he plays Spider and tries to play like his normal self?
I would rather if he wants to play Warbird, I think that's great, but let's start facilitating a little bit here. Let's get some people involved.
Does he have the ability to be a facilitator and run an offense?
I don't know. He was telling everybody how to play the Warbird today, so I guess so.
All right. I've got a few scumbags in the beer league.
There's one more person. Hold on, there's one more person. Bacon is a borderline scumbag. The guy has scored more goals in his first RSHL season than David Seaman has in his career, okay? Yeah. And now he's playing Weasel. I can appreciate the move, and he's lighting it up in the beer league. I think that's great. But this is the last season he's getting a pass.
He's got the vet tag, though, so what do you want him? What can he do? He's played some goalie.
Well, again, you don't see me running around out there lighting it up.
I don't think people would mind.
Hey, I saw you in a Warbird flying around too. Scumbag, dirty LC.
I had no choice.
Yeah, okay.
We only had 6 players, and if I would have played goalie, but then we would have had too many vets because I count as a vet even if I'm goalie.
Well,
so.
Who do you think is a scumbag?
I've got a few, mainly Zabe, who has played probably every period of the beer league in Tear in his normal RSHL role. Got Deej yesterday playing Spider in his RSHL role just to warm up for the game. But that's fine because he's just come back recently, so whatever. I don't really care. Mainly Zabe is who I'm going at right now.
All right.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think he's a really good player. I think he's a really underrated player. I haven't really watched him in the beer league, but if you say he's a scumbag, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, he's played every let me look at his stats here. One sec. Zabe, 109 minutes of Terrier in his RSHL role, 2 goals, 6 assists. So, whatever. I think he's a good player too, but like I was saying on the broadcast, you'll see I had a little criticisms of his game, of how he could improve. He played good against you guys yesterday, though.
Yeah, he does.
Yes.
All right.
Anything else on the beer league?
No. I'm happy you took it over. I think it's great. I think we have a lot of casual normies in the league, and they're loving it.
Yeah, there's a lot of new, like with that SVS team. And I brought some new guys from Trench Wars on Ripetish Fingerman, like Wispus and other players.
I'm happy that the Deeges made it as the first husband-wife combo in Hockey Zone history. That's good. We're breaking down barriers and walls here. I love to see it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, we're moving on.
Yeah, you can take
So,
us into the next segment.
okay, the next segment, I wanted to get your thoughts on what you think separates like really top players, great players from just like average hockey zoners or like decently good players. There's a lot of those guys in the zone, but there's definitely a gap between the top tier, like all you guys on Toon Squad, some other guys, and then the next tier below. So, what
So
do you think separates?
there's like three things that make up what you are as a hockey zoner, right? So you have your sports IQ, you have your mechanical ability, and then you have your mentality. So you you know some people have a combination of those things, but I think the better players, by and large, probably have better sports IQ. They understand how to create space. They understand how to move into angles. They understand how to support the puck. They make good decisions with the ball. They can predict a play before it happens because
Yeah.
all of us don't play as much as we used to. So the mechanical ability is whatever. And everybody ships, I mean, nobody's faster or stronger than anybody else. It's all relative there.
Yeah.
So again, you have, there's any team could do what BSK is doing right now. I mean, any team could do that if they had the mindset that they wanted to play a certain way to win.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference between people who win a lot more than others typically.
Yeah. I agree with all that for sure. Like a lot of people have decent mechanical ability. Like a lot of people have really improved in that. But like you said, I think like how you play without the ball, your anticipation, seeing more than one play ahead, and especially your movement without the ball, and then your decision making when you have the puck is what is going to
So
separate you from,
in some
and
of
then all
these
the stuff you said.
draft seasons, I played with like, Singer would be a great example, and there was some dialogue around him today where people think, he was a playmaker or a facilitator, and I would have conversations with him about, there's a certain way we need to play to protect the ball or cycle the ball, and I've got a lot of feedback from people who don't want to do it. They don't find it fun or enjoyable. They're very
Mm-hmm.
open about saying, I would rather just crash the net. That's more fun.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do with that. I mean, if that's how
Mm-hmm.
they feel, that's fine. They can feel however they want to feel, but I don't think they're ever going to find a lot of sustained success.
Yeah. I think being like Singer is a good example. Like you say, he has I think really good technical ability, but he doesn't make good decisions consistently enough. And then when he doesn't have the puck, he's stagnant, or he doesn't move to open space quick enough. He's kind of just processing pretty slowly. And like you said, some people would rather just crash the net like Maelstrom. And I think it's important to try to make yourself a fun player to play with, and even if you don't think it's fun to reset the pucker and make the safe play sometimes, it's more fun to play with players who will make good decisions and try to hit the open man and move without the ball to create space. So I think
Well,
people should think about that, trying to be a fun player to play with as well.
the other thing too, a lot of people don't get credit for in systems or goals or whatever it is, but a lot of times a goal will happen with somebody who touched the ball way earlier or may have cut through an area to draw a defender, and they don't end up on the stat sheet. A lot of people
Yeah,
don't want to do that.
yeah, for sure. Like I said, playing without the ball is I think what separates like a Singer from someone like on Toon Squad, for example. And anything else you think on that?
No, I mean, I see some of these new guys come in, and I want them to do well. I think they're going to have to figure it out on their own path, their own journey.
Yeah,
But there are some people, I think Bacon and Creature and Azaline. I mean, I think that the core has a really bright future if they want to.
yeah. Those guys improved so much in like for the first like month or so when they started. Like they made a huge leap pretty fast. So I hope, but they still can all get better at certain things. Like I said, playing without the ball and just general awareness.
I
So
think again for them, I think they're going to have to make a decision to do some of the things that probably won't seem fun
yeah.
to get to the next level.
Hmm. Yeah.
All
Anything
right.
else there?
Nope. What do you got for us?
Okay, so now we are going to go into the history books, and we do have a lot of new people to the zone. So I know at least if I was a new player, I would want to know about some of the old legends. So I want to know who are the people that you like thought were good, or I guess not looked up to, but just players you thought were good when you were a young hockey zoner back in season 8 or season 9, whenever you came into the zone.
So my first season that I played was season 9, but I was able to come in and watch the playoffs of season 8.
Mm-hmm.
And season 8, we got to see, I think they were Smiley at the time,
Yeah.
versus Power Play in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was basically like, you know, all of the Smiley guys, but you had Flash and
Yeah.
you had Sniper on Power Play. Those, like, honestly, I think I've said this forever. I think Flash is,
Flash was on Smiley.
yeah, I
Yeah.
still think he is the most talented player I've ever seen play, ever. Like, mechanically, that guy was unbelievable. And Sniper was extremely methodical. I would say I watched him pretty closely. Those are probably the only two people I would have said I probably would have tried to emulate.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I thought Flash was really good in season 8 was my first season, and I was playing a lot of Warbird that season, and I thought Flash was pretty good. I actually thought like all those Warbirds, like there were so many good Warbirds at that time. Like I even thought Drew was pretty good, Cyrus, and then there was. Do you remember Corbeau on Slashers?
Yeah.
I forget I think it was him and UKM actually were the 1-2 punch on that team. Can't remember exactly, but and then there was also Blink 00 was a really good warbird, and Marion. Those are some of the guys for me that season that I actually thought were pretty good, and I agree with Sniper as well. Good players.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyone else from back then you thought were good, or just Sniper and Flash mainly?
I mean, you know, we obviously I joined Creasers season 9, and then we went to the Cups 9 and 10 and lost to Blue Liners, and you know they were the other class team in the league. So you had You Kill Me and William, aka Melu, Doriath. I mean, their whole team, Yamix, their whole team was solid too. I mean, there were a lot of guys I looked at their team at that time and thought, yeah, these guys are, you know, excellent players.
Yeah, for sure. Melu was like a good all arounder. Like he was one of the better guys. Uh, who else? I thought like one of the best weasels back then was Calvo. That guy was pretty disgusting. Some of his shots. Anyone else from back then, or no?
You know, I was probably too. I was,
You and Blah were the 1-2 punch.
yeah, we were the
The
combo for
phenoms.
Creasers, but I was probably too much of an elitist asshole to give anybody else any credit from back then.
No, for sure. I don't like to give people credit either, but it's nice to remember some of
I
the old
mean, Rage
guys.
was, you know, peak form back then too. I mean, he was what
Yeah.
he did with Money Inc. and the pro guys, obviously, right?
Yeah. He came up after you though. I mean, like,
yeah, he did.
yeah. But as a young lawn dwarf, when you just came into the zone, it was mainly Flash and Sniper for you.
Yeah, those were the two for sure, no doubt about it.
Yes. Okay, and then we're gonna power rank these retired, underrated two-way players. So the players are Mr. Jack, Seawolf, Mr. Vodka, and Ronnie Franchise, aka Darth Valdemir.
All right, you want to go first?
Sure. Okay, so I put Mr. Jack number 1 because I'm biased because we won the cup together season 15 on Creasers, and I just thought he was incredible at all areas of the game. Like he had like David Seaman's checking, but like the offensive capabilities and awareness of like he wasn't as good as UKM offensively, but he was very similar in that he could do everything. He was kind of like a thrill. He had good vision, could check like crazy, and he was also just a really good teammate. And may he rest in peace, as he has now. I forget how long ago he died, but he's dead. So rest in peace, Mr. J. And then my number 2 is Seawolf. Again, a little creaser's bias, but Seawolf was a really solid all-around player offensively and defensively. He kind of became trash at the later stages of his career, but like he had a good like 5 to 10, like 5-10 season run of being a top player and never got the credit he deserved. Number 3, I would give it to Mr. Vodka. He was really similar to Seawolf. He was huge for the franchise, and then I think he aliased as Conan, and he was really good. And then I'll just put Ronnie Franchise, who I think is kind of overrated two-way player, but was really good in his day as well.
Wow.
No, he was good, but I think those other guys were better. So,
All right.
what do you got?
Man, we're going to have a little clash here.
Losing my voice.
I think for me, I think I got to put DVD Ronnie Franchise first. I mean, the trophy is named after him, for God's sakes. I mean,
Overrated.
he's the gold standard.
Just because you're the gold standard doesn't mean people can't pass you.
Yeah, but he was a solid player, man. I got to play against him a few times and with him. I mean, he was a good player.
Yeah, he was good. This is a good list I put together.
This is a great list. So I would have him ranked first. I think I would probably put Seawolf second. I thought when he was in his prime, I think he was probably one of the best spiders there was. I mean, he was
spiders and tears.
He was incredible in the spider, though. Like defensively, he was stout. I think I would rate Mr. Vodka third. I mean, I actually always thought Mr. Vodka was like probably one of the most, really mechanically gifted, but he was always buried in a heap of shit on Nation. So
yeah, I don't think he ever played on like a top team. Like
I would have liked to have seen him with a team that would have been worth a shit. And I put Mr. Jack 4 because I honestly just don't recall him that much. Maybe I wasn't around as much when he was in his heyday. I just don't.
He actually shit-pounded you in the season 15 playoffs, but you're probably right on that because Mr. Jack had a really short career. That's what he probably should be fourth just because he only had like 1 or 2 good seasons. But like during that time, he like playing with him, he was really, really good, like really dynamic player.
What team was I on in season 15? I don't even remember.
I think you played with the Pakistani guys. Is that possible? Frozen Flame and Slayer X.
Explosive?
Yeah, I think so. You were on that team, right? Take a look here. Season 15 roster.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was in the finals.
Yeah, this was the finals when we dispatched you.
Wow. Look
at this roster. Look at this roster.
That might have been a masterpiece season for me that I just don't remember.
Looks like you didn't play that much during the regular season, at least on their team. Maybe you squad hopped, I don't know. But you had 16 goals, 12 assists, and only 212 minutes. So
I had 12 goals and 17 assists in the playoffs.
Jesus Christ. How's that even possible? 12 goals and 17 assists in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, man.
All right.
Shit-pounded you in the finals.
Just don't remember this at all. I'm glad it's a good memory for you, though.
Yeah, well. And I don't remember much of, like, so many seasons are just jumbled together, like, from the past. It's hard to remember.
All right, what do we got left?
I think there was another segment. Oh, yeah. What was it? Sorry, I wrote it down. Oh, yeah, you got to give credit. You got to give a shout-out to 1 to 3 newer players in the zone who you think have been improving or you see potential in. And then you also got to give a shout out to 1 to 3 veteran or like semi-experienced players who you see have been improving as well.
Okay. I want to start with the vets for sure.
Okay.
So I definitely got to give some love to Anno because it's just great to have him back. Hall of Famer. He's
good.
There's another one that he's come a long way in a short period of time already. I mean, he's getting a lot better. So
yeah, I think he's already back to being like one of the better goalies.
Yeah.
Especially recently.
So I definitely want to give some kudos to him and Dye as well. Dye's been playing a lot.
If I could just say one thing about Anno, probably the worst passing keeper I've ever seen, and there are some pretty bad ones. So Anno, you got to learn how to pass to your teammates after you make the great save. Okay, go on.
I thought we were giving credit this segment.
I just had to throw that in there. So
I didn't realize we were taking shots at people.
Sorry if I just did that.
We got to give a shout out to Funky now that he's coming back. I know he hasn't done a whole lot of anything yet, so some kudos to him. There's another old vet.
Yeah, maybe praise him when he takes the pitch though.
We'll give him
could
kudos
be dust.
for that. So in terms of new players, I haven't been able to watch a whole lot of beer league, but I did catch a little bit of a game last night, and somebody compared Wispas to me, so I probably should give that person some credit.
You saw those slappers?
I didn't even see it. I just saw the text in chat, and I said, "Wow, this must be somebody."
Yes.
So kudos to them, whoever that is. You said you brought him over.
Yeah, he's a trench warrior. But he's been playing Hockey Zone recently, and he's actually not that bad. Needs a lot of work, but he
who
does
else I want to give
pretty good things out there.
Is Murd a noob?
Okay, so Murd, actually, he's like a really, really old trench warrior from like 2004, and he actually played Hockey Zone back then as well. He was like remember when Creasers used to have our farm teams?
Yeah.
Like he was on those, and he also played MSHL a bit, but then I was looking at old rosters, and I actually saw him on the season 13 misconduct roster as well. So he used to play a lot back in the day, but he only came back like a few months ago to the game. But he's pretty good, isn't he?
Well, yeah, I mean, big potential. It's crazy to me. I thought it was somebody alias, the way that he was playing goalie and Terrier and everything else. I mean,
no, he's actually
solid player. So shout out to Murd as well.
Yeah, he was on my list as well. I think he plays the game the right way, and he's a really smart player, and he has room to get a lot better as well. So there's an example of a new player who comes in and has some IQ and isn't just an idiot out there. So you can, if you have a good attitude, like if you want to get better, you can get better pretty fast just by playing smart.
That's my list, man. Who you got?
Yeah, so I just had Murd, and then I had Azaline as well, who I think is like Bacon and Creature get a lot of the credit, but Azaline is pretty good as well. Could do some things better, but I think he's better than Creature personally. And then another guy is Easton, who was a pretty good player back when I started, like season 8, season 9. Seems to have had a bit of a chaotic life since then. Has come back in and out of jail. Seems like he's lost his mind a little bit, but somehow he is still a pretty good player and playing pretty well in the beer league. It's like he became a psycho, but he's still good at the game somehow. So Easton, great job out there.
I'm glad that Easton's back. I'm not convinced he isn't Stickman.
No, definitely not.
There's some striking comparisons there.
I don't think he did.
Also, I don't like you leveraging Azaline to take a shot at Creature.
I did not do that. I just personally think Azaline is a better Hockey Zoner.
I think Azaline has huge potential, but I think he chooses to be an idiot sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, and then my vets who I wanted to give a shout out to are Incomplete, who needs a lot of work, but I see him starting to do some really good things. Like he's seeing the play more than one play in advance. He's making good, smart passes, and especially his defense in Warbird or any ship is becoming much more aware and just better overall player compared to when he used to be somewhat trash. And then left-handed hammer, I think, took a step up this season on the pitch. And like you said before, he underwent like a personal transformation to going from kind of a suspect individual to one of the highest character guys in Hockey Zone history. And then my last guy is Afrey, who I think got better this season on shorthanded and kind of leveled up his play a little bit. That's my list. What do you think about that list?
Solid list. I would definitely. I'd like to give Incomplete some love too for a completely different reason. He's obviously making huge progress with this new server, and we're seeing really good results. So, big kudos to you, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Incomplete. I personally never had any issues with lag or the old server, but you seem to have made a lot of people very happy.
All right, man. Any closing thoughts? Wow.
Nope. I don't. It was fun. Good first episode. We'll try to improve it for the future if we run it back. Yeah. Maybe get some guests on here.
Yeah, I think we need to probably be a little bit more hateful in future episodes, but it's a good starting point.
Yeah. People always get mad whenever I like chirp someone on the P1D or something. Like, you can't just do this without taking some shots. I don't know. Be very boring.
I agree. All right.
Yeah.
I hope we don't get canceled.
All right. Make sure you get us a theme song.